3-year-old little girl. So my daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. To find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where? 911, what's your emergency?
I called a little bit ago, the deputy sheriff's son, who I found out my granddaughter has been taken. She has been missing for a month. Her mother finally admitted that she's been missing.
Okay, what is
here now?
Okay, what is the address that you're calling from?
We're talking about a 3-year-old little girl. So my daughter finally admitted that the baby's in the store. I need to find her.
Your daughter admitted that the baby is where?
But the babysitter took her a month ago that my daughter's been looking for. I told you my daughter was missing for a month. I just found her today, but I can't find my granddaughter. And she just admitted to me that she's been trying to find her herself.
Mom Casey Anthony on trial for the murder of her 2-year-old little girl, Kelly. Somewhere out there, the devil is dancing tonight. A little girl was murdered. She was thrown to the side of the road like trash and left to rot.
Something wrong. I found my daughter's car today, and it smells like there's been a dead body in the damn car.
Okay, what is the 3-year-old's name?
Kaylee. Caylee. Anthony.
Kaylee Anthony?
Yes.
Okay, is she white, black, or Hispanic?
She's white.
How long has she been missing for?
I have not seen her since the 7th of June.
What is her date of birth?
8/9/2000. Oh God, she's 3. She's 2005. So it's Kaylee's missing. Kaylee's missing. Casey says Danny took her a month ago. She's been missing for a month.
Okay, I understand. Can you calm down for me for just a minute, and I need to know what's going on, okay? I'm gonna try and talk. Is your daughter there?
I'm on the phone with them.
Is your daughter there?
Yes.
Can I speak with her? Do you mind if I speak with her? Thank you.
Shake it for a second.
Huh?
Shake it for a second.
Well, not too many times I'm playing with it, you know. Ugh. Well, all right. You know, I'm glad that's on camera now, so they get to see that it's not a clip. It's not something I've done. They're getting live audio feed of real coffee being poured into a mug.
And as soon as they activate smell through the internet.
Yo, all the smell is fucking pot, though. I mean, honestly. Well, I don't know. With this, if it...
When you put it right, you put the...
Yeah, if the snifflator is right next to it's inside the microphone.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh.
Everybody has to make sure they brush their damn teeth in the morning. Hello.
Oh boy.
Everybody fall out on the other end.
Look, here we go. See, something's off center, but it's fine.
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah. Yeah. That makes sense. It all adds up
While
now.
you're in there, I want to pull that other side over there back just a little bit.
What side? This side?
That one right there.
Yep.
Yeah, that one right there. No, the bar. Just the bar. Just that little thing right there. And yeah, right there.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. You do have a whole like left arm, people. For
You tattoo it.
yeah.
Over there. You got to bring in my dragon.
Oh yeah.
The dragon's got to be present in every room, including yours.
Well, welcome to Stoner's Point podcast. A Nifty Rocks Media production. Be sure to hit those buttons. You know the buttons.
Absolutely nothing.
Oh yeah, that's right. The Nothing, our main sponsor. You know, at the end of a long day of somethings, it's nice just to sit back and enjoy a nice cold nothing. You know,
Absolutely.
it's something. It's cheap. I have it in abundance. You know, and it's a valuable product, and you know, no matter how much nothing you have, you still only have nothing.
And it can't be taken away from you.
No, they cannot take nothing away.
They can't ask you for it.
Mm-mm.
You don't have it to give.
That's right. So our
All your problems are solved.
and
There's nothing.
you know, in full disclosure, you know, we get nothing for this promotion, which you know, at first we thought that was a little stiff, but I was like, well, I mean, it is a free service.
So today,
Oh yeah, Slut City.
Casey fucking Anthony,
Casey the Smoke Show Anthony. Oh yeah.
or the train wreck.
Well, she looked like a train wreck because of all the trains that got ran. You know?
I mean, what's a girl to do on
In
a
Florida.
weekday evening?
Yeah, this is a continuation of our Florida Man series. We want to make sure that Florida women are represented.
Absolutely.
And
Well, if we're going to get the true representation, they got to get a little over half of our attention. You know, they represent a little over half the population. If we're going to be true representative, bringing equality into it.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
you know,
I think there's enough Florida women in this episode.
that ought to make up for it.
Yeah. Oh boy.
And the two there are just like, you know, they make up for like 15 or 20 or something. Fucking batshit crazy.
Fuck yeah, dude. There's not a normal person in the story. I'd like to say that George Anthony, Casey's father, is normal, but he's really not. He's
Probably the closest you're going to get.
yeah. I sympathize with him. You know, I feel bad for the guy.
Especially that out of the left field shit, man. Whoa.
Oh yeah, we're gonna get to that. All right, so if you have lived under a rock, like Mike has, you probably know nothing about Casey Anthony.
Hollowed out, nice carved. You know,
It's not like Patrick on SpongeBob. He just sticks to the bottom.
yeah, it's modern rock.
Modern rock. Oh God. Progressive rock. But yeah, so it's if you keep up at all with true crime, you know about this. You know pretty much everything we're going to talk about, and you're just sticking around because you like to. It's basically mental masturbation. You know, you know the story, you know the outcome, and if you don't know the outcome, boy, howdy.
Yeah, I didn't even know about it, but I mean, I know about this. Not the whole true crime level of it, but even for somebody that don't give a shit about what's going on in the world, I know about this chick. The fuck?
It's hard to miss it, But I guess we'll break on into it. Let me go over here to our slut show chat today. I mean, just look at that. She's not a 10, but you just know that a couple lines and a shot or two, and she'll let you put it in the pooper.
She does have that come here look.
Yeah. She's got that face you want to just kind of,
And after having looked into it, I can also see the I'm the boss in this one. She might just be putting it in your pooper.
Well, I mean, then it's Casey Anthony. She wants to make sure she doesn't have
Anything's negotiable, eh?
Anything's negotiable. Notoriety is notoriety. By God, that'll get us some sponsors on our podcast.
Wow. Alrighty then.
Watch our podcast co-host get paid by Casey Anthony live today. Watch them fucking views
That's
pop in.
Fans, bro.
So yeah, when I made the post announcement on the platforms that we were going to be doing Casey Anthony, it received more views just of a picture, and all it said was coming soon. That picture and that post got more views and more of a click-through rate than any other post. So,
I mean,
I'd give
play
her
on word with that picture. Yeah,
yeah.
it's gonna make some men want to click.
Absolutely.
The whole reason phones have screens.
Oh man, so let's see here. Casey Anthony was born in she's like 2 months older than me, I believe. She was born in, I think it was March 19th, 1986. All right, so she's like 2 months older than me. And how did I miss that over here?
Well, she's still kicking in the bar scene if you want to hop down toward Central Florida.
Can you imagine a Florida bar?
I don't have to.
Bro,
I've been to Florida. I used to drink heavily.
Mississippi bars were bad enough for me. It kind of break me of the bar scene for life.
Orlando's not that bad. Orlando's kind of what downtown capital tried to be. Kind of reminds me of a tame Charlotte.
Do you refer to Orlando as tame?
If you compare it to Charlotte, sure. And I don't mean that in a political way. I mean that in an actual, city environment.
Yeah. How life in the city, shit. It's rough out there for a pimp. That's what
I mean, just driving through the city, seeing what's there, it reminds me a lot of Charlotte, just not quite as vibrant.
So, damn it, where was I? How do we get stuck about?
Going to the bars in Orlando.
Oh God, yeah, I pushed that right out.
She's still bar hopping.
Oh yeah. So she grew up. Her parents were Cindy and George Anthony. Yeah.
I didn't know exactly which line you were getting stuck on there.
Oh, yeah. So, Cindy...
I don't know what she did for a living, but, he used to work in law enforcement back in the day. I don't know what I know he was retired, but I don't know what he did after law enforcement.
You know what he wanted to do before he was a cop?
Mm-mm.
He wanted to be Goofy. That's why he was in Orlando. He wanted to be the guy that walks around in the Goofy costume.
I don't know where to go with that. I'm lost in the sea of possibilities here.
And he flunked out of that.
What?
And became a cop. Not good enough for Goofy, but good enough to carry a gun and a badge.
Wow. I did not know that. Didn't look that deep into him, and I'm almost glad I didn't, because I don't know if I would have picked myself up off the floor if I was trying.
Well, see, luckily the first time I heard it, the first time I heard that...
How do you fucking fail being Goofy?
The first time I heard that, I heard it on Time Suck when he did his episode on Casey Anthony. And because he often throws in like little fake facts that are jokes that he tells you about later, I actually assumed it was a joke, and I just missed later on when he talked about it being a joke. And then I heard it on Necronomipod and last podcast on the left, and so many other sources. Like that his dream was to be Goofy.
How in the fuck do you fail?
I don't know. All you gotta do is slouch when you walk, check, and go, yeah. I wonder if George and Cindy like role played as like Minnie Mouse and Goofy.
Oh, come on, man. That's my fucking head.
I bet it did. Oh, sports Goofy.
Looped all over the place.
Who's getting ready?
What now, dude?
Yeah.
The fuck comes up with that shit?
Oh, coffee.
Yeah, I'm sure some of y'all going through that shit in your head too.
Yeah, I hope that at least one of them. I hope that at least somebody in our audience is like picturing like George Anthony wearing a Goofy mask, getting head from Cindy Anthony.
I'm more
with the
worried
Minnie
about the one that
Mouse
says,
ears.
"Hey, honey, I got an idea."
and just go, Oh, man. So George Anthony wanted to be Goofy, couldn't, became a cop, and did like 40 years on the force. Right?
Yeah. It was like up there for a while. He might have actually retired. From
Hey,
that.
we lost some light.
Deep into him. Oh, he's fucking something.
I'm telling you, man. I mean, we look all right. It's just a little bit shady.
Yeah,
Like us. It's fucking Casey Anthony. She don't get the best of anything. So Casey, she's like a habitual liar. Like nothing she ever says growing up, and she seems incapable of telling the truth about anything, and it invents people like on a regular basis, and also has a bad habit of pretending things aren't happening to such an extent that she creates an entire fantasy world around what is happening, right? She sent out high school graduation invitations knowing she wasn't going to graduate. Had her grandparents and everybody come down for her high school graduation.
Getting ready to throw her a big ass party and all.
Oh yeah. Knowing full well the bitch ain't been in school enough to graduate. She's been too busy off
Doing that bar life.
being a Florida man. And
She grew up being this little party girl kind of thing.
Yeah.
She was probably the girl that matured early.
mm-hmm. She was the one that had all the other 7th graders, like, you know, all the other 7th grade boys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And yeah.
There was a girl like that when I was in like junior high.
I still remember her name in my school.
Mine too. They make an impression on you.
Yeah, they do.
You know, but not Casey, because see, she didn't graduate. Like, they went to the graduation.
Sure she made some impressions.
And they called, you know, they didn't call her name, and, you know, come find out she just didn't graduate, and all of it was bullshit. Well,
They called the school to find out.
they noticed around this
She would never
time,
tell them.
and you know, she
Always come up with some kind of bullshit to tell them, and you deflect it instead of telling them a date that it's going to happen or where it's going to happen, anything like that. And so her mom called the fucking school, and she ain't been at school. She ain't graduated.
yeah, so it's all bullshit
She carries the lie all the way to the fucking end.
to the dire end, because I think part of it is she simply refuses to believe. You know what I mean? And to face the reality of situations. You know, she starts putting on a little weight, and
Let's just say the narcissism runs deep with this one.
yeah, I don't even know if it's narcissism quite so much as like something along the lines of like borderline personality disorder and schizophrenia almost.
Well, she was seen by 3 psychologists, and you know,
Narcissism, yeah. I mean,
well, I don't know if that's the thing. Yeah, that's my own opinion of.
she's the only one. She is the only person that matters to her.
Her reality is her own, and that's what she's going to have it.
Yeah, well, because it's
Absolutely a controlling figure,
yeah.
unless she's in a courtroom.
Well,
I mean,
I mean, you know, she certainly controlled the fuck out of Nancy Grace for a couple of years. Like, but yeah, so
to be fair, she was the topic of almost everyone at the time for a couple of years.
yeah, she her mom asked her. She's starting to put on a little bit of weight, you know, particularly around her midsection, almost only around her midsection. And her mom asks her if she's pregnant. She says, "No, silly, I'm a virgin." So she's pregnant, right?
Carries that lie for a little while.
7 months. They find out after 7 months it comes out. But up until this point, Cindy knows full well, you know, that Casey is pregnant and has been.
And supports this bullshit. There's no way a mother doesn't know that shit.
Yeah. Tells family members at parties that mention that she looks pregnant, "Oh, no, she's just put on some water weight." And, like, she knows full well by this time. I think, actually, when she made that lie, she knew at that point. Like, it had come out. Okay,
Talk
yeah.
about a slim woman, 7 months pregnant. Then you can tell.
Yeah.
It's not weight gain.
Yeah. But she just simply, this is another evidence of her, like, simply refusing to admit or to face the reality of a situation and to pretend like it just doesn't happen. It isn't a thing. And honestly, sometimes with my anxiety, that's how I get with shit. I'll get, like, really behind in shit because my anxiety just keeps me from doing a goddamn thing. And I get anxiety about doing something or having to deal with something, and I just forget about it. This easiest way to deal with it in that state of mind right then is just to not, it doesn't exist. It's not an issue, you know?
This chick right here, she figured out at an early age that she can tell a damn story and get whatever the fuck she wants.
Yeah, because her mom is just as crazy as she is. You know, and the dad,
she lies like it's a fucking game.
Yeah, and she's not good at it, but she don't give up.
She is persistent.
Yeah. Like we were saying before we started recording, you know.
She's good at it. She's not good at finding the right story.
Yeah. It's not that she has quality lies. She just has a quantity of them.
Well, the ones that they're crafty.
Yeah, so
They're just, like most lies, they're definitely not provable, but there's a certain point that they get to, they're like, wait a minute, hold on. But up to that point, it's, most people believed her and took her at her word for the most part.
yeah. So on August 9th, 2005, a miracle happens. A virgin birth.
Oh,
Actually, she ended up giving 2 names of people that could be the father. One of them was a guy who actually existed but had died in a car accident. And the other one just didn't exist. It was just a name she made up. So nobody knows who the father is. Nobody.
well, her boyfriend at the time, she thought he was the father.
The one that died in the car accident.
No, the boyfriend at the daggone time that she was with, he got mad and left because when he found out.
Oh, yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, I forgot about him. That's a non-entity.
He found out the baby what it is. See ya.
Yeah. And, he was already dealing with a lot. It's Casey Anthony. You never know anything with this bitch, right?
I don't know him. I didn't look him up. I don't know anything. But when I was going through her, like we've done on this, looking through all the man, he was the spineless one. He was the yes dear. It had to be. She's not going to tolerate anything else.
Yeah. Yeah. I get
And from recent video clips, she ain't changed a bit.
So, yeah, Kaylee Marie Anthony, born August 9th, 2005. And she's born, the family moves on with the fact of this mystery birth. And by all accounts, she's a decent mother for a Florida woman. She's a decent mother. Hey, she didn't want people smoking around Kaylee. Like, she was never seen being harsh with her and shit like that. By all accounts of, like, her other Florida friends. Right? I mean, she wasn't tossing her out to alligators or...
Okay. I was wondering where we were setting the bar on that.
I mean,
wait a minute.
The Everglades? Floridians? Okay.
I was like, yeah. There's a couple of pictures and probably some little videos of one particular face of her, but I'm
not saying she was a good mother. I'm saying by all accounts from her friends, she was a good mother.
Yeah.
From her friends and family.
The visitation crew.
Yes.
Yeah. Gotcha.
Yeah, I have pretty strong feelings about her nanny. Anyway, so Kaylee's born. She and how do you think? What's one of the biggest things you got to deal with when you got a kid, Mike?
No time for yourself.
Well, there's that, but I mean,
Feeding the kid,
Oh.
raising the kid,
basically, you need some.
general maintenance of another particular biological machine.
Mm-hmm. Takes income, right?
Usually,
Yeah. Well, I mean,
pretty expensive.
yeah, and Casey didn't. She worked little odd jobs.
That's why people that don't have careers shouldn't consider.
Like, she was, because she was incapable of telling the truth, or getting from the car across the parking lot to the building without filleting somebody in the parking lot. She wasn't able to keep jobs.
Doesn't surprise me. She couldn't contribute.
But-
She wasn't the manager.
But she goes, one day she comes home and she's got great fucking news. She's got this job at Orlando Studios, like planning parties, event planners, putting shit together, making things, a mover and shaker of the world. That's Casey Anthony. And, so she begins this job.
Yeah. Yeah.
She leaves every day. Usually she leaves she usually leaves Kaylee with Cindy and George. But she also has like friends that she'll leave her with and stuff like that. But she leaves, and she'll go by a friend's house and she'll hang out at their apartment for a while. And this is all on her way to work, on her day-to-day routine, right? And she'll pick up some coffee at Starbucks, and she'll do some shopping, And she'll go back and hang out with another friend, or she'll just ride around Orlando, and then she goes home.
Yeah.
That's her work day. It's pretty awesome.
But she does have money to spend.
Well, yeah.
We just leave that up to folks' imagination.
I think this is my favorite picture of Casey Anthony. She got a joint hanging out her mouth, even though she didn't do drugs. And she's got some poor referee guy bent over in front of her. It's probably my favorite picture of this virgin mother. That's what really attracts people to Casey Anthony. It's that virginal beauty. That's what I thought was hot about Miley Cyrus.
Yeah, well, she can put on whatever act she wants. She's pretty good at that.
Well, no, not really. Just nobody around her bothered to investigate her bullshit. Like, it wouldn't have taken very many questions for them to ask, for it all to come out in the wash. Right?
Bro, there
It's
are
easy.
videos of her, and so many people talking about that in one particular place, she is just sweet, charming, whatever she's got to be. In another particular place, she is fucking weak and demure. And in another setting, she's like spoiled little
She's a
fucking
chameleon. She's a chameleon.
She's not two-faced. She's multi-faced. She has got a mask for every fucking occasion she finds herself into.
And I'm not putting.
I ain't saying it as like she's some
No.
maniac. I'm just saying it's a
She shows a lot of symptoms of women who were sexually abused as a child. That compartmentalization and that way of changing and the building up of a fantasy world around her. I'm not jumping on the George thing back.
It is
bandwagon.
also the same that of those that go into it willingly and become that the school slut.
Lolita?
The starting.
Yeah.
But every school's got one.
Yeah.
It's one of the early bloomers, and it's one that didn't get enough attention.
Yeah,
Not necessarily from abuse. They just decide, hey,
Yeah,
look,
no,
I like attention.
Yeah,
It just starts happening. They like it. It makes them feel good. They go and do it, and they pursue it, and they take it too far, and then they realize that shit, and they become shameful of themselves in some way.
It results
or
in
they
the
accept it and
same.
move on and just accept the
Yeah.
lifestyle. Either way, there's no judgment.
But it does result in the same type of behavior.
Yeah, there's
You know
two
what I mean,
ways
later
to go
on.
about it. When you get to that point and you actually push it to that limit, then there's two directions. You either accept it and run with it, or you fall into a state of depression or something.
Yeah,
like
one
that.
is emotional and
Stuff
trauma.
like that.
One situation is emotional trauma of a specific type that is imposed upon you, and the other is
Not a
emotional
professional
trauma.
opinion, it's just my own
And
observation.
the other is emotional trauma that you impose on yourself, right? But they're both emotional trauma. It's just one of them you do to yourself, you know. But yeah, it's but she's fucking insane, you know.
I said I held no judgment. I was a nail slut when I was in school.
Yeah, me too. So she's having a hard time dealing with the fact that she doesn't really have a job. So she has to like keep coming up with ways to get money. You know, she has to drive around, and she continuously runs out of gas. Now,
That becomes an issue later.
well, it becomes an issue right now. Look, so the only time, and usually there's no excuse, right, to completely run out. Once that light comes on, you got 20 miles. You might have more. You got 20 miles to get somewhere. You know, that's it. And you can't be nowhere in Orlando that's 20 miles from a gas station.
No.
Right? So she's continuously running out of gas. Now, if her gas gauge didn't work, that's the only excuse. Like, is my gas gauge in my truck that I had, that motherfucker didn't work. I was doing math. Like every morning. I had to sit there and do math. And I had to, you know, I kept every couple of weeks I had to like subtract on what I was getting gas mileage wise, because I realized that it seemed to be an alternating thing of how long from my oil change to my gas mileage.
Wow, bro. There's a much easier way to do that, folks.
Fix the goddamn gas gauge.
Top off every time you leave.
That's hard to do when you're broke.
It's easier to do than fill it up once in a while. You always got $10, but you never got 50.
Yeah, well, the thing is, when $10 would get me to Henderson and back every day, that was cool. It wasn't.
Instead of making the trip, so apparently it did. I mean,
Oh, well, actually, what I ended up doing was I would just drive my truck to Jody's on like Monday, and I would stay there until Friday. I would just crash on his couch.
I always found it a lot easier for me to find $5 or $10 every once in a while to put some, to actually go somewhere than I did to, oh shit, I ain't got no gas and I gotta
I
go.
had to call Jody so many times on a morning, like, hey man, I'm on fucking US 1 between Franklinton and Creedmoor.
And the thing is, a little bit short, I can skip a day because I've always topped up. I've got that emergency reserve always.
But but George, she's always calling her daddy for gas, and to the point that he built a stockpile. He starts getting gas cans and stockpiling them with gas.
Enable much?
Yeah, nobody asking, where's all your goddamn money going? You ain't paying no bills.
Make
You
a
don't-
bitch ass walk.
You don't
Quit
even,
running out of gas.
she didn't even have an excuse of a drug habit. She wasn't on drugs, really. You know? Now, I think she was a little bit later.
She wanted to maintain that party girl fucking lifestyle that she had before she was a mom. So she was trying to keep.
Look, I never quit partying. But the thing is, I wasn't much of a partier by the time I had a kid anyway. I partied in different ways, you know.
Yeah, my parties were, hey, let's everybody get over here at so-and-so's house and fucking get drunk and play games and do what the fuck ever until we all pass out. That was my parties. I never went to a fucking club to go party. I went to a club to go smash fucking skulls and shit in the mosh pit.
Yeah, I mean,
If they want a mosh pit there, I didn't go to a fucking club.
yeah, I was never much of a partier. I would hang out with people and do drugs, but that's really the extent of my partying.
Yeah.
I don't like a lot of people. I don't like loud shit unless loud music's fine, but you know, I go into a concert's fine, but like a bunch of loud, rowdy people. That's why I don't like NASCAR. You know,
People you don't trust to be around drunk while they're drunk.
no,
I don't like being around people I don't trust to be around drunk
yeah.
while they're drunk. That's just never a comfortable feeling for me.
I don't really like most drunk people. They're kind of annoying. I would rather be in a room full of fucking like people tripping balls on acid or
And I'd like to
mushrooms.
be in a room full of people that I know are comfortable with doing so and ain't gonna get lost into some fucking pit of despair that I gotta waste my trip to fucking go talk them out of.
Oh God!
You know, you gotta have that click.
And there's some people that every time they get drunk, they get to a certain stage of drunk and they get sad about the same goddamn thing. They've been sad about this one friend of theirs that died for fucking 20 years. And every time they get drunk, if they've been drunk for about an hour and a half, and I'm not talking about anybody specific, I'm talking about like 80% of people who get drunk. Then they'll get all weepy and they'll make you listen to a song or look at a picture. And you're like, I just want to fucking not.
Got this 20-minute long fucking story
that you've heard every time. And if they're a daily
you gotta
drinker.
get right up in your damn face with it.
Oh, yeah. That usually happens in between
Damn,
the
I'm
weeks.
drunk, but fuck. Get one more whiff and I'm gonna pass out. Yeah.
And they don't pick up social cues at all.
Yeah, I never had that problem at my parties.
I was never a partier, not in the sense that Casey was. So she starts hanging out with these boyfriends. He's like this rockin' DJ. Oh yeah, she totally has like this DJ boyfriend, and she works at Orlando Studios as an event planner. And she runs out of gas all the time, but that's not really her fault because she don't get paid at this job that she don't go to.
Yeah, I mean, gas dog, just get back in my car overnight.
I mean, I tried sucking the guy's dick at the gas pump, but he, you know, he was one of them gays.
Ow.
Like, if you don't want to fuck me, you've got to be gay, right? Oh, I like my Casey Anthony character. I just built it right now.
Yeah, that's probably not too far off.
No, I didn't try to exaggerate much. I think the accent may be incorrect. I think I'm more like Valley Girl.
Well, not too far off the mark of what she would be trying to emulate.
But you know,
Valley Girl stuff was popular in the 90s culture.
yeah, fucking Frank Zappa, Valley Girl, she's a valley. You ever heard that song?
Yeah. Thanks for sticking it in the library.
Like, gross out. Gag me with the spoon. But yeah, so she wants to be this party girl with this fake ass job, no income.
Get out of there.
And she starts like, how the fuck was she? She stole her friend's checkbook, right? And she goes around like writing some bad
I don't
checks.
know who it was, but yeah, she did get in trouble for writing bad checks for somebody else's fictitious check.
Yeah, and then she somehow stole money from her mom.
How she didn't go to jail for that for a few years. You know what I mean? You know, I guess. Yeah. Okay.
Like, I totally didn't mean to steal those checks. Look, I'll suck your cock if you let me out of this.
Yeah. But yeah, she did that shit, and she didn't get no damn better after that.
No, and Sid starts getting to a head. She's in these constant battles with Cindy mainly over Kaylee, how Kaylee's being raised, and they start noticing that Kaylee has these.
Apparently, she's even called the cops, the 911, about thinking that her granddaughter had drowned in the pool or something.
Actually, I missed that.
It was in one of the fucking callbacks on. It's on a YouTube blast where I was listening to all the audio from 911 calls and all the courts and all that crap. One of the investigators had asked her why did she report so many times that she thought that her granddaughter had drowned in the pool.
Yeah. I see. I didn't know that there had been that was a theory that came out, but I didn't know that there had been like police reports on that. So that's news to me.
Yeah, this was before.
Before she died.
Yes.
Yeah.
She had called a couple of times, worried that her granddaughter was drowned in the pool.
Because apparently,
Don't know why in the hell that would ever be a question that you would ever have to wonder if it happened. It would either be yes or no.
if I fucked up and thought that my child had accidentally drowned, and turned out that I was lucky and they hadn't drowned and they survived, I would never again be worried about whether or not my child has drowned. I will board up the door to the yard. I will shackle the child's ankles.
I've seen somebody I've never seen a person freshly drowned. I've seen where, on the news where they pulled the bodies out and had a picture or something.
Oh man, so there's a rock.
I've seen people nearly drowned.
I saw somebody drown and then get pulled out an hour later.
Okay, so no question, right? No question in your mind that they had drowned?
None. Look, so it was a rock quarry in Wendell, and a bunch of us kids used to go
I
there.
haven't seen nobody actually freshly drowned, like in the pool.
And you could
just drowned.
The kids would like dive off of this like little rock. It was a fucking quarry pit, and they would dive off into the water, right? And well, this one kid,
Talking about Roseville?
not Wendell. This is in Wendell. But it's very similar to the one in Roseville, except it's closed in. You're not supposed to be able to get to it, but we still do. We still did.
Of course.
And well, this kid goes in and he gets snagged on a piece of equipment that's still under the water. Like, we all watched him jump in, and we never saw him come back up. And like, nobody else jumped in the water after that. And the ones that were in the water, they just kind of came out of the water. And like 15 minutes went by, and one of the kids is finally, because this was before cell phones, had finally gone down the street and through the woods and down the street to fucking Mr. G's and called 911. By the time they came there with divers and were able to get him out, he'd been under there about an hour. I was like maybe 12. When they pulled him out, his skin was the same color as the granite. Like, it was just as pale and blue. There was no question.
Well, she would have been like, recently, like, somebody just went thrashing and then stopped. Are they floating or are they drowning? Had they drowned? That kind of, But I don't think even dead weight floating, I think, would be different than doing a dead man float.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure I haven't witnessed it to see it. I've seen people almost drowning, and I've seen evidence of people after, but not actually freshly done. So I really can't say from experience it, but it's hard to imagine that you would confuse it. You would call enough times where somebody had to question it. It had to happen more than once.
How? Again, how do you ever put yourself through that again?
You don't question something unless it's either one very, very interesting and, like detrimental to a particular aspect, like a case, or it's happened on multiple occasions and it begs questioning. With these two, I'm betting on the latter. It happened more than once. Now, like I said, it's just based on the question that was asked. There is no actual.
I'd get rid of the goddamn pool after the
I
second.
did not go looking through the whole entire history of 911 calls to find out.
Yeah, for fuck's sake.
But
yeah, so
the fact that the question was asked,
there would be no goddamn pool, right?
Two possibilities.
If I thought my child had drowned in the pool, and my attempts to stop her from drowning again failed, by God, there would be no fucking pool for a third time.
Would not the first damn thing you would do is jump in and grab the child and make sure they're not floating?
Oh,
if you got to that panic point that you actually thought they might have drowned,
I'm not going to leave them in the pool.
Get them out and then call 911, right?
Yeah, I didn't mention that because I thought it was pretty obvious.
She called 911
She's floating in the pool.
I don't know that, but she calls 911 to say she thinks her grandchild is drowned in the pool. Either she's not there and she's just trying to get a wellness check, looking for attention, like she knows something's up, or she's a fucking dingbat that would call 911 instead of going out there and making sure your child's not floating. I don't know. It's kind of hard to tell. We are talking about the Anthonys. So, still, it's up in the air. Which one is she? Is she a dingbat or, not there and trying to get attention somewhere?
Well, in this picture here, she's just a slut wrapped in an American flag with a really large thing of beer. And, like, if that dude's name ain't Chad... I mean, come on, that Florida man. And look, all he's wearing is like American flag Christmas wrapping. I think he's got a boner.
When was that? Oh, man.
When was that picture
Any
taken?
dates on these pictures? That would be... I'd like to know when that picture's taken.
I'll tell you.
Because I know there's a bunch of pictures of her in her party shit for after...
I stalked Casey Anthony's Instagram.
And there's pictures of it beforehand. And I would like to know which one that is. Just out of curiosity's sake. It would be nice to know. I need to start being mindful of that bit. Especially if we're talking about some murder bullshit.
Wait, what now? What'd you?
Being able to tell when the picture was taken, like, especially in this one. But in some murder things, when the picture was taken, before or after the fact.
I'm trying to find...
That was probably a whole lot of research on the fly.
Yeah.
All the pictures that are out there. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I stalk her Instagrams. I have to go back through and find it.
Interesting.
What?
Words.
But fucking Casey Anthony. If she wants to fight about it, she can come down. We'll live stream that shit. Fist fight with Casey Anthony. I don't give a fuck.
That's your bets, John. You still, if you're mindful.
What is she gonna do? Kill me?
On next week's episode, how my co-star was
Murdered by Casey Anthony.
And on the future podcast, but after that, how she got away with it.
Oh boy. Spoilers, Mike. So she starts
Spoil something that happened 16 years ago.
she starts dating this fucking DJ and hanging out with his crew. And about this time, Cindy and George start to notice that Kaylee sometimes is sleeping for 14 hours at a time and is looking kind of like dark circles under her eyes, kind of strung out looking. There's the picture.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a pic. If you're watching the live stream or the video, there's a picture of Kaylee around the time that she died, not shortly before. And, like, you can see the dark rings under her eyes and kind of the pale face and the dilated pupils. Xanax is pretty popular in the club scene, right? It's a popular club drug.
Yeah. They even got a nice little short nickname to build.
Xannies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Xanny bars.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Zanny.
Yeah. And the
Everybody
fucking...
knows Zanny.
Yeah. And if a child sleeps, well, it's pretty easy to take care of that kid, ain't it?
Yeah.
You can just stick that kid anywhere.
You know that kid's going to be asleep.
Yeah, you can just throw her in a fucking dresser, and go on with the day. Keeps them pretty calm and docile.
Yeah,
Thing is, though, they steal everything in Dollar General. I don't get it. Did you know that's the thing with the Xanax? So for some reason, people like really high on Xanax, they turn into like kleptomaniacs. They just compulsively steal shit, like at a Walmart, or they become compulsive shoplifters and thieves.
That explains so much.
You didn't know you've dealt with a Xanax addict who stole some shit, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing, dude. They're not even really aware of it to most extent. Like, they're Xanax, they're in kind of this blackout state anyway, and they just start grabbing shit. They'll grab like a 45-year-old dude fucking like shoving tampons in his pocket. He don't need that shit, but it's a thing, man.
Wow. That explains so much. All right then.
And I don't think that Casey is doing the Xannies. I think that she's giving them to Kaylee. And because it's around this time that she meets this this cool ass babysitter, Zanny the nanny.
Yep.
Yeah. And so they don't have to worry about taking care of Kaylee, because Casey can take care of it. She doesn't need mom and dad. I'll just take her to Zanny the nannies while I'm off at work. And
Taken care of.
yeah.
Don't worry, Mom. Got it taken care of.
So, well, one day, let me find the day. Motherfuck. Yeah, so, according to Casey Anthony's father, George, Casey left the family's home on June 16, 2008, taking Kaylee, who was almost 3, with her. And they didn't see her for 31 days.
Well, it was a little longer than
Before they saw Kaylee? Yeah.
that. A little longer than that.
Oh, boy. No, but, too soon.
Okay, maybe a few more years.
Has not been the South Park regulated time. It was like 21.7 years or something like that.
Hey, okay, you got me there.
God damn it. Oh, okay, all right.
Come on, man, that was a short rabbit hole.
During this time, Cindy would get hold of Casey and repeatedly ask to see Kaylee, because they'd never been away from Kaylee that long. You know what I mean? They got a little bit of separation anxiety, and they know that Casey's a little off. You know, and they've been, like I said, they've been concerned with the way Kaylee's been sleeping and whatnot.
Well, then, every time they call, she's sleeping, or she's with the nanny, or she's away doing something.
Yeah.
So they can't even talk to her on the phone.
No.
Can always get hold of Casey. Speak to Kaylee.
Yeah, she said that Casey says she was too busy at work assignment in Tampa, and to come bring Kaylee. And other times she said that Kaylee was with a nanny who she identified by the name of Zanny, and off at like Disneyland or gone to the beach. She gave the name Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, right? And we're going to get into the Fernandez Gonzalez hyphen later.
Yeah.
But she made that name up.
Interesting.
The police did determine that a woman named Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez did in fact exist, but had never met Casey, Kaylee, or any other member of the Anthony family or any of Casey's friends. Just the luck of the draw. This name is real. Like, you roll the dice enough, you know what I'm saying?
It took them forever to find it.
Yeah.
Well, for the longest time, they couldn't find one because they weren't looking under in the full name, because she didn't know her middle name. But
She hadn't made it up yet. She hadn't met those neighbors. Oh, fuck. Spoiler.
But interesting enough, this, like you said, this ain't the same one, because when they went to go find out in the house to go visit this person, the landlord said there's hadn't been anybody living there.
Oh, yeah, we haven't even got to that yet. You jumping all ahead.
And out there already even finding another person that exists there.
But yeah, we can go ahead and firmly establish that the Zenaida Zanny the Nandy Fernandez Gonzalez was a figment of Casey's imagination that gives us the means and the location of Kaylee's death. And she confessed with Zanny the Nanny's name. She told us what happened. She told us where she was. But as far as she's concerned, what else do you fucking need?
I mean, it's right there.
So yeah, we'll get back to that. If you don't already know, then we promise we'll get there.
We'll explain now.
Yeah. So they get a call from a tow yard that the Casey's car, which was really George's car,
Yeah,
but
loaning it to her.
loaned it to her. And they kind of did some bullshit with that, saying that she had stolen the car when they let her drive around in it all the time and would come bring her gas. Yeah, well, in the 911 call, to the first 911 call, she's like, I have a person here who, committed like grand theft auto, stole our car. We got the car back, but that was never what really happened. She was just saying that to the cops to try and get Aunt Casey to tell her where the fuck Kaylee was, I
Must have
think.
been pouring me a coffee when that was playing, and I missed that one.
I can actually pull it up.
Well, I believe you.
But yeah, so yeah, she reported the car had been stolen, but it was only during the time that she was interrogating Casey. George went to recover the car at the tow yard, and him and the yard attendant had noted a strong smell coming from the trunk.
Yeah.
George had many years as a police officer. He'd smelled dead bodies. And I can tell you from experience that a decomposing human body smells different than any other animal. It does not smell like a dead deer on the side of the road. It's a very different smell. It might only be like chemicals that make your brain analyze it as human, and it becomes even more repulsive.
I'm withholding comment.
What? Why are you withholding comment?
I plead the fifth.
But yeah,
For president works for me, damn it.
but the fucking but yeah, a human body smells different than a dead animal. I mean, it's still the same dead animal smell, but there's a difference. You know it if you smell it. But they both later stated that they believed the odor to be that of a decomposing body. And George's initial thoughts is that Casey and Kaylee are in this trunk. So he, says a few Hail Marys and he opens the trunk.
Oh, yeah, because she's disappeared for a little bit.
Yeah, she turned her phone off.
Turned her phone off and vanished for a while.
Mm-hmm.
So now her parents think she's missing too. Because she just ghosted.
Yeah, she was like, man, fuck you guys.
Everything was all peachy and king, and then poof, gone.
I have a plan that's working out perfectly, and you're not going to ruin it, Mom.
It's like she can't figure out what to do about this particular situation. They want to see my daughter. I don't want them to see my daughter. What do? I can't come up with a story yet. I'm out. Now, just that problem right there, that wall about for some reason you're not allowed to be able to see your granddaughter. What the fuck is going on there? And then they disappear? What the hell? you're withholding my granddaughter, and then you ghost. Oh, hell no.
But at the same time, not a crime.
Not a crime. But for family,
Yeah, I know. I know.
that's oh hell no.
I agree. But legally, it's not a crime.
Ain't the same.
You can't be sent to jail for saying fuck it. You know. So they track down Casey and they pick her up in the car, and Cindy starts making 911 calls, trying to basically get fucking Casey to tell them where fucking Kaylee is. And Casey finally admits that, well, she's been missing the whole time I've been gone. And that she'd been busy trying to find her, and she didn't want to get the cops involved because she didn't want anything to happen. And, Mom, if you stop asking me questions about Kaylee, I will totally suck your cock.
31 days.
31 days. 31 days. If my child was missing, like, had been kidnapped for 31 minutes, I would be rampaging my way to wherever I need to be. There would be a trail of blood and fire. You know, like,
At least for the first couple of weeks when you actually think you can do something about it.
yeah. After a month?
Yeah, once you give up and say, yeah, there's nothing I can do about it, there is a possibility for some folks to say, to withdraw and just move on with their life.
Yeah. And
Now,
you don't withdraw immediately and move on with your life.
I don't know. There can be a tragic event, and you just shut off, and that didn't happen.
Yeah, I actually believe that is part of what happened. Whether Kaylee accidentally died or was murdered.
I don't know if I could do it to something as strong as my own daughter. But yeah, I'm almost borderline that type of a personality myself, so I can understand that part of it, to where you would just shut off and say, yeah, fuck it, there's nothing I can do, move on.
It's easier to not deal with the situation, right? You know, I mean,
To some extent, yes.
Yeah,
I don't personally take it quite that far, but yeah, I mean, it's like a death in the family kind of event. I mean, there's nothing I can do about it after that. But Dad, what am I going to do?
yeah.
And if it's a close family member, then I would draw a little bit. It's like, hell, after my own mother passed, you know, if people hadn't came to me to hang with me, I would have been sitting there playing fucking Warcraft or watching a fucking movie getting drunk.
Well, I was with you when she died.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we were camping.
You folks came to me, yeah.
And
when
I-
she died,
yeah.
yeah.
And
We
then-
were camping,
yeah.
and I went to go home to go deal with all that. But
And I was at your
For a
house when
funeral?
you came back. Yeah.
for a funeral, I mean, yeah, after that, I mean, yeah, I deal with it. And, you know, I'm born.
We smoked all her pot.
I mean, I even shed a tear for the woman. So, fitting that she was such a heavy coffee drinker. But yeah, what did we do after we sat around the house playing fucking Magic and getting drunk?
Yeah. What we would have been doing anyway.
Yes. I'm sitting around boo-hooing or fucking trying to fix an issue. You know, fuck it. I'm gonna sit here and play Magic and get drunk. Nothing else I can do.
Huh?
Now I don't know if I can take it out. Like, hey, my kid's gone. Let's go to the bar and fucking dance and
Yeah, let's go party.
I'm gonna get a new tattoo.
Like, God, if you'll just make my life to where I don't have to remember the tragic death of my daughter, I will totally suck your cock.
What daughter?
Yeah, the night that Kaylee goes missing, she goes and like there's video of her at Blockbuster with her DJ boyfriend who is totally going to make it big.
And she just erased her history and it's like, this is my life now.
Yeah, and she rented they watched Jumper and which gets a lot of bullshit. I actually like Jumper. I thought it was a good movie.
Jumper.
This is where the guy can like kind of teleport.
Yeah, and they had a team coming after him.
Yeah, Samuel L. Jackson.
Yeah, that guy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man. I thought it was fucking good. And it gets a lot of fucking flack. And I'm like, why? That movie was better than the other one, which was...
At least it's not time travel.
I like some time travel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, the Time Machine was a good one.
Terminator was good.
All right.
Speaking of Terminator... Oof. Oh, God, I forgot about that. Shit. That was supposed to be...
You get me on the time limit. Come on.
That was supposed to be Casey. But I guess I forgot that I had gone back.
Oh, bro.
But this is actually a picture of her that George took. That because he was suspicious, he thought something was wrong. You know, and she's just, but you know, then again, toddlers fall asleep in weird places, but not for 14 hours. That was the picture it's supposed to be with Terminator. God, that was rough for me, dude. And then the next picture was worse. Oh, boy. Well, for those of you who are listening to audio only, you missed out on some horrible shit. Oh, man. Yeah, so... yeah, see, Cindy ends up basically saying that she... what?
Picture.
Huh?
What the hell's that picture of?
Over here?
No. There.
There?
That's holding up.
That's Kaylee.
Okay.
Yeah, just when she's like 1.
No, it's the boots and the dress with the background just at this angle with the little bit of a glare I'm looking at, just kind of blurred it a little bit.
Yeah.
It ain't got nothing to do with I'm supposed to be wearing glasses. You know, nothing. You know, I don't have my contacts in. It's nothing to do with that.
Not at all.
I'm not old.
Let's take a long sip of my coffee. That's none of my business. Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, she can make up stories like they are.
So, Detective Yuri Melik of the Orange County Sheriff's Department begins investigating Kaylee's disappearance. And he found some discrepancies in Casey's signed statement.
You know what I'm saying?
When questioned, Casey said that Kaylee had been kidnapped by Zenaida Fernandez Gonzalez, whom she also identified as Zanny, Kaylee's nanny. Although Casey had talked about her, Zanny had never been seen by the Casey family or friends, and there was no nanny that exists. They went to the apartment building where she said she lived and found our sponsor today, nothing.
Remember, folks, it never lets you down.
No, you can always count on nothing.
It's always there. It'll always be there. That'll never leave you behind. You can't lose it.
Oh, you can't lose nothing. Oh, boy.
But can you lose? Your child.
You can lose the fuck out of your child if you don't want her.
And remember, if that happens, call fucking 911. Get people looking.
Yeah, I think 31 days is too many.
Even if you are a private investigator, don't try to do this shit yourself.
Like, I can solve like any mystery. All I gotta do is like I can think about stuff and I can see it, and then I just bribe people with blowjobs and I get the answers. You know, I'm really good at blowjobs.
Anybody else?
You know, sometimes it's hard to notice the crime scene when you got jizz all in your eyes, but you know, I make it work. I just say things and people believe them, and that's the truth. They needed to get Zenaida's phone number from Casey. And she's like, well, it's on my cell phone at work. So they go to Universal Studios, and on July 16th, 2008, yeah, the day after Kaylee was reported missing. So she's been missing 32 days at this point. D-Day plus 32. And asked her to show them to her office. So she wanders around.
You sell a story.
I'm telling you, she wanders around. She's looking all sexy in her little tight jeans and a little sweater coat.
Oh man!
And, you know, these detectives are just walking behind her for. She's going for 25 minutes, just going, "Hi, Jam. I totally sucked his cock." You know, and oh look, that's Brian over there. You know, sometimes Kaylee hangs out with his daughter. And by the way, this guy, I can't remember his name, but he didn't actually have a daughter, and he didn't know Casey, because Casey had never been to this building in her fucking life.
She leads them down fucking hundreds of meters of hallway.
25 minutes of walking around
Before she just turns around, puts her hands in her pockets, and is like, I was lying.
She's like, okay, I don't have an office here. They fired me a few years ago. Look, if you don't make a big deal out of this, I will suck your cock. So,
boy,
Casey gets arrested right then and there. The cops are like, all right, cool. Because they already knew. You know what I mean? They just wanted her to run her lie out. They wanted to see where she went with it.
they had to have.
Yeah, it's like, where is this going to go? Like, because we already know she don't work here, has never worked there. We already know every fucking thing about you. We just want to know what you did with your daughter. That's the only question we have.
That has to be the fucking reason, man. They just try and play it for time. I mean, come on. If you already, to be sure they could check that and make sure before they ever went through all that.
Yeah, but she'd never admit to it. Casey will not admit to anything.
And she plays the damn lie out all the way to the very bitter end.
Yeah.
It's a game. Trust me. I've dealt with these folks.
Yeah, yeah. My mom was a lot like that, man.
Mine too.
So, let's see. What's our next picture here? Oh, we're back to that one.
Doggy. Yep. Like you nailed her.
Huh?
Just like you cock.
She'll totally suck your cock. She gets arrested for making false statements to law enforcement, child neglect, and obstruction of criminal investigation. There was no bail because the judge said she had showed woeful disregard for the welfare.
Sexist, I'm being stereotypical.
Woeful disregard for the welfare of her child. On July 22nd, after a bond hearing, the judge eventually set bail at $500,000. And she gets out after she sits in jail for a month, and the bail bondsman Leonard Padilla's nephew posted her bond, basically gave her the bond to get out, you know, on the hopes that she'd help find Kaylee, and they kind of wanted to make like a documentary series deal.
Oh, there was some money involved, that's for sure.
Oh yeah, they wanted to
He posted that fucking bail for her though, man.
I mean, what's the worst that's going to happen?
I don't know.
What, is she going to get away with murder?
Got her in jail. Make it squeal.
I mean, and there's videos.
You're not going to keep somebody like that locked up long before they break.
No, and there's videos also from this time of the visitations between Casey and her parents.
Yeah, she's in jail, being accused of her daughter's murder, and while she's talking to her fucking parents, it's all about me.
She's in. Well, at this point in time, nobody knows that Kaylee's dead. I mean, everybody knows Kaylee's dead, right? But there's no murder charge yet.
She is this assertive. She's got this calm but projecting personality in her manner of speaking with her mom. It's we listen to me. I want to talk about this. This is the direction I want the conversation to go. Kind of mentality to it. And then when her parents are talking about how much they miss her, it's all boo-hooey bullshit.
Yeah, and then so they bring
emotional and shit. And then when they start bringing up Kaylee again, it's she brings back that shield.
Yeah, come back to yeah. They tell her that
it's robotic, just blam blam. This is what happened. This is how it is. And
they tell her that the reward for information for finding Kaylee is $250,000, and she's immediately like, "Well, that's half my bond." Like her immediate thought is, how can I get that money? Like, what do you the fuck? She complains about what she's eating. She's like, well, I've been eating a lot of bologna and cheese sandwiches. I never liked bologna before, but I still can't do grits. And it's like, then her dad comes in like, well, we need to find Kaylee, though. Like,
I seen a thing where the bonds security guy that was watching her while she was on bond, they actually had a personal bodyguard for her to make sure she didn't run off. It's $500,000 on the hook. He said that her first question when she walked in the fucking door,
what's for dinner?
What's for dinner?
I actually don't see a big problem with that.
Come on, you just got fucking home after being a month separated. Your first fucking question is what's for dinner?
Yes. Dude, when I was locked up, when I was getting ready to get out, dude, I had
your first question, yes, but not your first words.
No, I mean maybe hi. Unless I walk in the door and I smell food, what's for dinner? I'm with her on this one. Having been locked up, you think about food a lot. Good food. Like real food. And, she already knows what's going on with Kaylee.
Well, I've been locked up too, and I'd already ate before I got home.
Yeah. I made my dad stop at Wendy's because they had them. I'd been watching the commercial for their cheddar bacon fries. I'm like, that's what I want. I had cheddar bacon fries in my stomach within 30 minutes of getting out of prison.
Yeah. Dinner wasn't on mine. I'd already ate.
Hell yeah. And I stopped at a store and bought some fucking ramen noodles. Because I never stopped loving those. I liked them before prison. I liked them during prison. I like them now.
That's still catered. I have that desire. And my daughter has a taste for the fancy shit. So,
yo, I like to go, has she gone to like an Asian market?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, that's where the best shit is. Like every once in a while, me and Jess will go to the Asian market just so I can get, because they have like walls of ramen. I love it.
Yeah, there was one day when y'all came down, I fixed y'all some ramen, and Shannon went down. It's like $7-8 a fucking thing.
Was it? Oh.
Yeah, bro, that was some top shelf ramen. Bro.
That's all ramen. I eat ramen.
Yeah, so I was like, well, why? But I let her do. I let her just. It was her money. So,
Well, I owe her some ramen.
nah. She was being pitiful about it. She didn't care. It didn't really hurt her feelings. Just being pitiful.
And there's this Korean shit. It's
Like young women are
I think
supposed
it's called Topanoki or whatever. It's like it's like these little.
And I say that because I bought her some. I replaced her ramen because she made me feel bad just doing that.
This Korean stuff called Topanoki is kind of like ramen. It's like these little rice gnocchi things.
We bought her some ramen, but yeah, still. Can't say I did. I'm married, so
Yeah.
we. Yeah, remember, always we.
Yeah, I guess. It's always we. Except for Casey. It's always me.
Yeah, absolutely.
And Dad,
Well,
if you,
want to be.
Mom and Dad, if you quit asking questions about Kaylee and will just talk about me right now, I will suck both your cocks.
Stop talking about my missing daughter.
Yeah. You know, I actually did want to find out what they had for dinner that night. But I couldn't find it anywhere. Oh, Casey won't get back to me on Instagram, so.
Oh boy. Well, if she knows you're stalking her, maybe she'll reply once.
Oh boy.
He'll send her a link.
Oh.
You might actually get a visit.
I might. So, she gets out on August 21st, right? On August 11th, 12th, and 13th, a meter reader by the name of Roy Kronk called police about a suspicious object in a forest.
Real name.
Yeah, and if you're thinking, if you immediately went to Emperor's New Groove, it's okay. So do I. In fact, whenever I hear it in my mind, it's literally Kronk from Emperor's New Groove. He finds a suspicious object in a forested area near the Anthony residence. The first time he was directed by the sheriff's office to call the tip line, which he did, and did not receive a return call. On the 12th, when he called again, and he eventually was met by two police officers. He told them that he had seen what appeared to be a skull near a gray bag. On that occasion, the officer conducted a short search, stated he did not see anything. On December 11th, Kronk again called the police. They searched and found the remains of a child in a trash bag. Investigative teams recovered duct tape, which was hanging from the hair attached to the skull and had some tissue left on the skull.
And just to point out, this is the same stuff that he called about the first time.
Yeah.
The exact same place. That's not too hard to get to.
No, it's really right off the road. And if you're walking on the side of the road and you take a piss, looking at the aerial photographs of the place, I should have added a slide to that. But looking at the aerial photograph of the place, it'd be a handy place to walk off and take a piss, honestly. It'd be in this like low floodplain in the woods, from this like drainage area.
Yep.
And it's swampy anyway. It's fucking Orlando, So, he goes out there again after 3 months and he sees this thing and he's like, well, the cop said it won't nothing. So he uses a stick to pick up what, and I've seen things in the woods before, like me and him were talking about earlier, turtle shells.
Hell yeah.
A big enough turtle dies. After a while of exposure to the elements, the colorful shit on the surface of the shell goes away.
Yeah, it just flakes off.
And what you're left with is a rounded bone that looks like the top of a skull with sutures, and you'll even have like a round opening, towards the side where it could look like an eye hole, but it could also be turtle shell. So he uses the stick to pick it up, And up comes with it this duct tape and the jawbone and the hair. And he fucking lets that shit go and he calls the cops.
I don't know hair.
No, there was hair.
There was hair.
Yeah, investigative teams recovered duct tape, which was hanging from hair attached to the skull with some tissue left on the skull. Just a little bit. I've seen pictures of the skull. It's there. I didn't put any of that in the slide.
Yeah, I seen a picture of it, but yeah, I didn't count that as hair because one of the investigators had mentioned that there was no tissue to test.
Oh, there was some tissue still attached, but I mean, they were able to get her. There was hair because it was stuck in the duct tape. You know, and the duct tape is also what kept the jawbone with the skull.
Yeah, I know that part. I mean, it was a fucking heart-shaped sticker on it.
Yeah. And man, when I was going through those pictures and I saw that sticker page,
Yeah.
oh, dude, that kind of made my heart sink. And the one of the lettering from her shirt next to the picture of her wearing that shirt, dude, I was going to put that in this, but
And it was only a couple of days beforehand.
yeah, dude, I was going to put it in this, but it was just too fucking heartbreaking, man. So basically what I'm talking about is there's a picture of Casey wearing this shirt. I can't remember what it says.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, Kaylee, yeah. Yeah, Kaylee wearing this, like, shirt that has, like, this lettering on it. I can't remember what the lettering says. The lettering itself was what it said was relevant. But it was some happy-go-lucky, you know, kitty shit. And next to that is a picture of these same letters, but rotted and brown and stained. And there's no shirt left.
Yeah,
it's just these
those like the puffy sew on
letters.
the thick puff iron on kind of thing.
Yeah, and man, that broke my fucking heart. Like, that's why I ended up not putting it in here because it was too emotional. You know what I mean? It bummed me out for like a day. I just played Hitman and imagined shooting. I killed a lot of innocent women in Hitman because I was really bad. That shit hurts. But yeah, so they find her remains. She's identified as Kaylee. And the death is ruled as a homicide and cause of death undetermined. And the reason they call it a homicide is because her remains were hidden. But that doesn't necessarily...
Tape on the face.
But that could have just been, you know, who knows? She could have like had that wrapped around with something else. I don't think she was smothered with duct tape. I don't want to anyway.
It's in the right place. But I'm not sure that she was suffocated with duct tape either.
Yeah. I don't buy that. I honestly, I think that she died accidentally and more so than being murdered. At least not like intentionally murdered. I think the Xanax probably, she just gave her too much Xanax and she rolled over in her sleep or something fucking.
I don't know, bro. That's all.
Or she got left in the fucking car.
What about that search history?
A foolproof suffocation?
Yeah.
Misspelled?
How to make chloroform.
Yeah, but she didn't, yeah, that was, she didn't make any chloroform though. I mean, she ain't got the fucking brains for that.
Look, to look it up.
She looked it up.
And the search was done with the time codes. You can find out exactly when these things are done.
Mm-hmm.
She was the only person in the house.
She was.
By the timeline already established.
Now, Cindy later said that she did those searches.
The search was done at an established timeline by all events when she was alone in the house in a 2-hour time period when she was alone. Those searches were deleted from the computer. The search history was deleted the day she got home out of bed.
And they never checked Firefox either. Did you hear about that?
Yeah, that's where that's what I was pulling that from. Is what was that lady's name? Marsha Clark. Had found some, about looking through it, and she's an old school prosecutor from back in the day. Anybody in this probably knows her. She was prosecutor during the OJ trial. Well, now she runs around apparently and just looks for any kind of injustice and throws the 2 cents in it. Decent career field, I guess. Better than just being a prosecutor.
Kind of like Nancy Grace.
Ow.
I mean, that's exactly what Nancy Grace does, just on a different platform. Go out yelling the world free of injustice. This tot mom.
Apparently, she apparently does stuff.
Well, so does Nancy Grace.
Not just talk about it.
Nancy doesn't talk. She screams. She declares.
Crier style.
Yeah, and
but this lady, she actually goes through all the evidence and double checks everything. How they get access to it. It's her company. I don't know, but when they went through the search history, they actually did go through the
Firefox. Yeah, but by this time, it's already the case is over.
Yeah. But I mean, how hard would it have been? And that's just for part of the searches. Now only the Google, not Google at the time, it was the Microsoft search engine that they went through.
Mm-hmm.
And actually, they did find, where she was looking up suffocation and how to make chloroform on that search. But like I said, the time that the searches were, even both of them were deleted, was the day she got home.
Yeah.
And like they pointed out, the only person that's going to think about deleting is the person that made the search. I mean, you're searching shit like that, and your kid goes missing and is found dead. Come on.
Yeah. On October 14th, 2008, she was indicted by a grand jury on charges of first-degree murder, aggravated child abuse, aggravated manslaughter of a child, and 4 counts of providing false information to police. She was arrested, and the judge, John Jordan, ordered that she was held without bond. On October 21st, the charges of child neglect were dropped against Casey because the evidence proved that the child was deceased. The state sought an indictment on the legally appropriate charges. She was arraigned and pled not guilty to all charges. And on April 13th, 2009, they announced that they plan to seek the death penalty in the case.
Fittingly.
I agree. But it's also what lost them the case, I think. Because there wasn't enough evidence to prove that it was like an intended homicide instead of an accidental death that she just covered up, right? To put someone to death for not reporting a death. It's extreme. And what if that's the case? What if that's what happened? We don't fucking know because she's incapable of honestly spelling her name correctly. And
the only way I can actually answer that is from my own frame of thinking, honestly. And I'm a little more logical, apparently, than the ones of the topic matter. But if I accidentally do something, even if it's a horrible thing, like, murdering my own child, the first thing I'm going to do is, seek fucking help.
Yeah, you got to realize you're in above your fucking head, and
holy fucking shit, what I did caused this. I did not mean to, but this is what happened. I got to come to the conclusion that yes, even under that circumstances, somebody's going to find some kind of fault, and there's going to be some kind of ramification because I probably should have been a little more attentive, or more careful with my actions as they are now because my child is an adult. I'm not going to just that didn't happen. and go on about my fucking life. The only way that's going to happen is if I'm guilty as fuck and I'm trying to get the fuck out of there, you know. But then stick around and pretend it didn't happen.
Well, the thing is, she has a
completely
pattern.
different story.
She has a pattern of this through her whole life. though.
I know that's where look at it. This is exactly who she is. So why would you can't think of her any differently? This is exactly how she behaves in any given situation. And
She just pretends it's not happening.
She pretends it's not happening,
Yeah.
which gives it a little bit of that disconnect. And I think that's probably one of the angles that the district attorney was, the defense attorney, not district attorney, was probably pushing in this trial, whether it's
A little bit.
trying to throw that shade on exactly how and when, and you know, is she acting like she was somebody had just murdered their child? You'd think they would be a little more stoic, wouldn't they?
Well, I don't know. I
She's
mean,
out there partying like nothing's going on. But wait a minute. Her daughter was missing. Why the fuck is she partying like nothing else is going on?
well, I think there's no question in even the jurors' minds that she knew what happened,
Exactly.
but she just wasn't able to deal with it. She wasn't able to admit to it in any way, shape, or
And you look
form.
at that through the hindsight filter that we have. Like you said, she's following that pattern. Something horrible fucking happened, and she's just like, nope, that didn't happen. This is the direction my life is going. Fuck that.
Yeah.
And just try to ignore it. I mean, you know, she knows something horrible happened. Not just, you know, your babysitter didn't give your kid back. You know,
Well, so
and that, you know, the part of then the story went to the point where, you know, she met her in the park, and you know, the babysitter told her face to face that she wasn't going to give her kid back. What?
yeah, and then there was that whole thing in jail.
If you're still alive?
There was that whole thing in jail where she claimed that some other inmate mouthed the word timer 55, and that meant she has to like get on her MySpace and her Facebook and change all her passwords to timer 55 so that they can give instructions. It's a ridiculous lie. I think she just wanted to check her Facebook while she was in jail.
Probably more accurate assumption there.
But yeah,
But yeah, I mean, if somebody was sitting there saying they're going to take my child and not give them back, and
that person don't exist anymore.
Either
One of us
not
don't exist.
walking away from that situation. Right then and there, we're not calling 911. We ain't got time for that shit.
One or both of us is just staying there.
I am not waiting. I'm not waiting 20 minutes for 150 cops to show up and do nothing
And then shoot you.
I'm not waiting for that. No, but yeah, her babysitter said, "Nope, I'm keeping your kid," and she's like, "All right, cool." What?
Like, if you would totally not give back my daughter, like, ever, I will totally suck your cock. So, like I said, I believe that,
So we got motive.
I believe
she wanted to keep her damn lifestyle.
yeah,
Now, is that the actual motive or what? I don't know. But, I mean, you can see there's motive there.
I kind of think that that day when she left the house with Kaylee, and this is just my opinion based on just what I've heard and the type of person Casey is and shit that actually does happen fucking way too often, right? So she slipped old Kaylee the Zanny, right?
Well, it ain't got to be that night. It could have been a couple of days after.
Yeah, sure. We don't know.
Yeah.
But well, we do know that later that day she's on camera with her boyfriend, her DJ boyfriend, and they're at Blockbuster, and Kaylee's nowhere in sight.
Well, that night.
And
her
her car
probably
has already been left at this gas station with the car seat in it, an empty car seat, right? By this point. No, wait, that's a few days later, actually. Yeah. But
I said it was shortly after. I just don't know if it was that.
yeah.
night.
Now, I think that what happened was Kaylee went to sleep, passed out on Xanax. Casey got out of the car to go do something, left her in the car. Come back, Kaylee's dead. Happens way too often. So she takes her diaper bag, she puts Kaylee in the diaper bag, and puts Kaylee in the trunk, and forgets it. It ain't going to take long in a trunk in fucking Florida in goddamn July.
Yeah, middle of summer, Florida. Yeah, that's you're going to notice that.
And people get in the car during this time period with her within the first couple days of her leaving with Kaylee. And they notice this smell. And she's like, oh, I hit a squirrel. She has two different stories.
Yeah, it's trash or, you know.
Well, she tells one person that a squirrel had got stuck in the grill of the car, which is fucking nonsense. I'd believe it if it was like a dog or even a cat or a bird. Squirrel, if it's in the grill area, it's safe because it's going under your car. You know. But she had two different stories.
Mice in the fucking heater vents.
That'll happen. You know, but it's more believable than two different stories about squirrels. And so I didn't want to, when I was listening to all the different reports on this case again this week, I was faced with having to make decisions about things that I'd normally just like, all right. I did not want to believe that Casey drove around this fucking car for days, perhaps a week, with her dead daughter in the back, in the trunk, rotting away. I could not fathom that. It's too far for me. But not if you just pretend it didn't happen. And at some point in time, she's finally like, boy, I don't know what's in that diaper bag, but I need to get rid of it. And she just pulls over the side of the road, takes the handles of the diaper bag, and throws it into the woods. Right between these neighbors that are right by the house, their name on one side of these woods is Fernandez, and the other neighbors on the other side were Gonzalez.
This before or after she, put her in a trash bag and put duct tape around her mouth.
I think she did that in an attempt to try and make the smell stop. It's the only thing that makes sense to me. And that she, taped up the bag.
I stopped the gassing while it was in the trunk after a day or two.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's hard to fucking think about this shit, man.
That thing that's a problem with my reality is now becoming a big fucking problem in my reality. It's fracturing my version of reality now, so I have to open up the trunk and tape its mouth shut.
I don't think the tape was necessarily over the child's mouth. You gotta think this duct tape has been I think the duct tape was used to hold the bag, right? To hold the bag completely, to seal off the bag tight around the child. And that during all the rain and fucking shit and swamp and humidity and the sloughing away of decaying flesh, shit just sifted around. And it,
It wouldn't have her tissue on it, and it wouldn't have her hair on it if it was covered.
If it got...
Well, hair possibly.
Yeah.
Depending on how long her hair was and how it was when they did the hair possibly, but tissue.
Well, I mean, if the hair, if there's going to be tissue still attached to whatever scalp remnants there are, and if that hair is attached to the duct tape that's moved its way up there, the tissue's still going to be there. It ain't cutting the hair. I don't know. I don't really. She may have suffocated her, but I don't think so.
Well, no, she could have put it on postmortem.
Yeah.
Like I said, when you start gassing, you want to start gassing.
Yeah, like I said, I don't think she suffocated the child with it.
Maybe she just had her mouth open because she died, drooling or something like that with her jaw slaying. She just tried to tape her jaw shut because she couldn't, or maybe she just tried to mask her face because she couldn't stand the look of it. I don't know. But
she did it.
The duct in the perfect spot.
With that little heart sticker, man.
And the sticker, yeah.
God damn it, dude. That sticker. That to me makes it seem like that's about all the remorse we're ever going to get out of Casey from it. That's the only sign of remorse we'll ever see.
That's the one problem I have with the whole, she doesn't give a shit enough to say, fuck it, and move on with her life.
It shows that she felt that shit.
Right. If you can feel that, you're not going to just pretend that your daughter's missing and be okay with it.
Well, what is she doing then? Like,
You pretend that your daughter's fucking missing.
well, I get that, but then how do you pretend your daughter? I don't know. It's hard. You have to recreate your entire reality for that to work.
I don't know. Not playing investigator and actually doing what some sort of normal person would do, and that is get a lot of people looking for her.
But no, you got fucking go gadget twat out here.
I mean, single example I can think of throughout history of a child unexpectedly going missing has resulted in a massive search party by the community.
Yeah,
Every fucking one of them.
because time is of the essence.
If you go to the family and they say, yeah, I can't find my firstborn baby, and they're like, no, we don't want to search. You might want to look into that.
Yeah, certainly document it so you can bring it up in court proceedings later.
Because it's the only time in history that it's going to happen. It just doesn't happen. Your kid goes missing. You at least, even if this is you play the fucking part, even if you in the situation your kid's, if you want to play it's missing instead, play the fucking part.
Jesus, man.
She was ignoring the whole fucking thing, and like she's just playing the part like it didn't exist. The only people who do that or something is somebody who's guilty of something. They're the ones that flee somewhere or try to hide in plain sight if nobody knows yet.
Well, if she had left Kaylee in the car, she is guilty, But it's not the same as.
No, it's not the same.
It's not the same as a first-degree murder. You know what I mean? It doesn't necessarily deserve the death penalty.
I'm not saying that guilty by this, and I'm not saying guilty. I'm just saying sane and normal. You let the kid in the fucking car. What's the first damn thing you're gonna fucking do when you come out and realize that, hey, wait a minute.
Probably kill myself.
Okay, that's an acceptable answer. Run. I know how this is gonna go. You expect the worst. You're a fucking habitual person. Hell, you want it for something else. I don't fucking know. Whatever the hell your situation is, you got the option to run. This is going to go bad. I'm out.
Yeah, there's no good outcome of this.
You disappear before you go play in a normal life.
Yeah, well, I think
Go somewhere else to do it.
I think we
Tell them about the normal life.
may be underestimating her brilliant investigatory skills. See, what she was actually doing, she wasn't at hot body contests because she wanted to win and she wanted to have fun. She wasn't out doing these parties wrapped up in an American flag just for the shit of it. She was out looking for leads. She was doing the tough work out there, boots on the ground, Mike, or in her hand walking back to the apartment.
Gathering all that data by asking no questions.
Yeah, she's going around, she's waiting, and she knows that it's somebody in the underground, It's some sort of underground cabal of babysitters, and she's going to find them at these clubs, you see. It's
because they moved out of the daycares.
Yeah.
That's how Q's getting them.
Yeah. She's actually at the pizza place.
The people that Q are accusing. Sorry.
Yeah, the satanic pedophile cabal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They took them out of the daycares and put them in the private hands now. It's in the private sector. Hey!
And eventually, I'm surprised she didn't go with the Puerto Rican defense, like in South Park. She was kidnapped by somebody of average Puerto Rican height.
Well, it was Florida, so she wasn't far off.
She could just use the Ramsey defense. I don't know. Look, officer, I'm telling you, you searched my whole house. You didn't find my daughter then, but she's right there. Nobody's coming. I'm telling you, nobody came and left. It's only been us here with our daughter, who is dead, but we didn't do it. Not a single member of the Ramsey family has gone to prison. She could have used the Ramsey defense. I think her lawyer let her down.
Really?
No. I guess end result is effective. But she had to go through a trial, whereas the Ramseys did not. So 400 pieces of evidence were presented. There was a strand of hair recovered from the trunk of Casey's car, which was microscopically similar to Kaylee's. And the strand showed root banding, which hair roots form a dark band after death, which was consistent with hair from a dead body. That's when I had to face the fact that she rode around with Kaylee's dead body in the car. Probably alongside the garbage, but she didn't throw that out because she didn't want to litter. That bag of trash was already there?
Trash was already there and it's still been in the car after she threw it. Oh, man, I did not put that together.
Yeah, well, that's why the detectives, the prosecutors, were actually like handing out pieces of the trash to people, the jurors. Like, does that smell like trash to you? And they're all like, no, that's something else.
The trash didn't even smell like trash.
No.
And this is after the fucking grandmother, Cindy.
Yeah.
Yeah, after she fucking tried to clean every fucking thing and left Febreze sheets and fucking car. You find your fucking car, it smells like a dead body. What do you fucking clean it?
Well, I mean, if you're just assuming that the dead body smell is the trash, the logical thing is to clean it. But now you also have this missing child thing going on.
And George being a fucking dude.
He should have known better.
He knew what it smelled like. You don't say it smells like a dead body unless you know what a fucking dead body smells like.
Yeah.
You don't. You don't say that. Trash, decomposing trash has a distinctive odor too. You know that smell.
Yeah, it does.
Anybody in modern society knows that fucking smell. That's not mistakable. But you're not going to confuse those two. Ever.
Kronk, the guy who found the body, basically told the same story that he told police in court. And I guess before we start talking about the individual case, let's talk about the prosecution, the defense's opening statement.
Yeah, he didn't have to go there.
Well, all he had to do to win this case was sow enough seeds of doubt, right? So they basically start off the fucking opening statement by accusing George
From the perspective of going into the trial, you are 100% correct. From the perspective of looking back at the drag-on trial, no. All he had to do, if he knew how it was going to go, all he had to do was just sit there and wait to the fucking end, and then give his closing statement.
Yeah.
His closing statement was enough. After what the prosecuting attorney had their case, after they presented all their shit, his closing statement sealed it. Done. fucking fork-tongued motherfucker, bro. Silky bitch. They got her off with that last argument.
Well, he accuses, he makes this wild accusation of George, like, sexually molesting Casey as a child. And then never goes back to it. Now, by doing that, he forces the prosecution to do his work for him and, like, you know, keep bringing it up to negate it because he never goes back to it again. It's never again mentioned by the defense. The prosecution's like, wait, what? But now they knew it was going to come too because they told George that day.
And the parents were only in the courtroom because they were told they could not show emotion.
Yeah. They're like, look.
And he's like,
look, we think they're going to accuse you of being a child molester. You can't get mad about it. And this actually effectively ends George and Casey's relationship forever. To this day, they don't communicate. Cindy, of course, you know, but
you just imagine having to sit there and take that. Ooh. Is that what you want?
Jesus. Yeah. So
even if the accusations are fucking true, that's still
yeah. What does it have to do with Kaylee? Not a damn thing. You know.
Well, if she was abused as a child by her father and I think brother.
Yeah, that was where they even had this whole theory that Kaylee's name was a combination of Casey and Lee, which was her brother.
Then it would give a reason for her to lie, to be able to cover things, and to have that built into her nurture side. So she was brought up to lie and to hide and to pretend things are normal, and that probably could have became a defense mechanism. And when something bad happened, she just went into that defense mechanism and pretend like nothing happened and everything's fine. And did that to the best of her ability. That was pretty much all happened right there when he made that statement. Because she's a liar. Everybody knows this.
It's glaringly obvious.
So that gives a whole reason for this persona that she is. Right there. It justifies it. Bam. Done. Opening statement in the bag. Then the prosecutor comes in and they present some evidence but a lot of the shit they bring in like for the last 3 freaking days 3 days, like 6 or 7 day trial, 6 days. It was fairly quick. I want to say it was the last couple of days, but time might not be exactly on my side right at the moment.
I'm not sure. The case was decided July 5th, 2011, but you know it takes time for that shit.
It was a relative
trial began May 24th, and
I can't find it.
and sentencing and all that was done on July 5th.
Yeah, but
2 months.
Anyway, the prosecutor just would play on the emotions, playing the emotional card to the jury. That was pretty much their big hook.
Yeah, because, child murder sucks.
Yeah. And then on the closing argument, the fucking defense got up there and reminded the fucking jury, so look, you can't convict anybody on your emotions.
Yeah, and this...
It's against the law. It's right here.
You don't have to like Casey.
Motherfucker had a fucking whiteboard, bro. It's right here. You can't do it. How did she die? You ain't got to prove how for murder. How is pretty much irrelevant. How she died is pretty much irrelevant in a case for murder.
Well, if you're unable to determine the cause of death, it's not necessarily, that depends on your first degree or second degree, and that's where you get your degrees of murder.
According to the judge, it doesn't matter.
I disagree. Not the first time I've disagreed with a judge.
Of course. I'm just saying, according to the judge, in an interview, I think it was on Dr. Oz. I'm not saying that's exactly the best source of news, but it was actually the judge, and it was words out of the judge's mouth that, you know, she could have been convicted if there were special instructions given to the jury. What was it? I lost the train there. One of the things there. Short-term memory loss.
Hold on.
I'll catch back up on that in just a second. Forgive me.
Let's see here. Oh, Jesus.
Went down my own personal rabbit hole and I lost the main topic.
You were talking about the judge saying that she could have been convicted if special instructions had been given to the jury. What are the special instructions?
That was the point that I'm trying to figure out. To remember right off the top of my head without actually having to go back and watch the whole video.
Well,
myself.
Fantastic.
But we were talking about something before we got to the judge.
We were talking about the fact that there are different degrees of murder, which, you know, when you have when you have fucking death sentence on the table, you can't give somebody convicted of, you know, manslaughter the death sentence.
Oh, it's probably to remind them that the conditions of how she died are not pertinent to the case.
But they should be. Accidental death is not the same as murder. It should not be punished the same. If somebody, you know, if somebody's kid accidentally drowns or overdoses on fucking Xanax or is left in a car on a hot day, they deserve punishment? Absolutely.
If it's willful neglect, it doesn't matter how you do it.
But is that the same? Do you feel like that's a capital punishment crime? A capital crime?
Yeah, to intentionally leave somebody in a hot car. Yes, you know it's going to kill them. I mean, duh. To intentionally overdose your child on Xanax, absolutely. Even if the intent wasn't murder, the action resulted in it.
Yeah. I agree. I mean, there's a lot of questions that come up with it.
You know, I mean, if I fucking shot you just to see if you'd live through it. I didn't intend to kill you.
No.
I just wanted to see if you'd live through it.
That would probably be second-degree murder. or aggravated manslaughter.
No. Somebody would probably question my sanity for even questioning the possibility of somebody living through a gunshot through the chest. But
the odds aren't zero.
Just you know what? Find out. You know, come on, no. But yes, if you intentionally do something that causes the result, that's willful neglect. You didn't give a shit if they died. You knew it was a risk. You did it any fucking way.
Yeah. Okay. I can see that. Yeah, so they moved the they got to change of venue because of, you know, everywhere in fucking Orlando was saturated with it. But the thing is, with the internet, social media, and Nancy Grace hollering about Tot Mom, there's no one, right?
Oh yeah, she became the most hated woman in America.
Tot Mom.
Real quick, her reputation went downhill. No longer the popular girl in school.
No. And, like, she was getting all these, like, she was getting all fawning and blushy about, like, comments from dudes on Facebook during this trial. Like, they'd be like, yeah, I'd hit it. And he'd be like, oh my God, that's so good. She'd get all fangirl over herself. And
yep. Me, fuck you, me.
If you'll just pay some attention to me, I will totally suck your cock.
Oh man, we need a counter. That'd be great.
So,
I've lost count.
long story short, is there's more evidence that Casey Anthony committed this murder than
I mean, the bitch went out and got a tattoo the week after
The
Good Life.
And she had this sweet shamrock fucking tramp stamp. Nice.
Dude, yeah, that's exactly what I'm gonna do while my kid's missing.
Yeah. Well, see, the tattoo artist knew one of Zenaida's friends. See? So to get the tattoo artist talking, she went and got this tattoo done so she could open a general conversation. Investigation, Mike. Her dad was Goofy. I mean, a cop. She knows
Do it.
how to investigate.
She's heard stories.
Yep.
Oh my god. How good of a cop was he?
I don't know. I haven't seen where he was like, you know, he wasn't a Derek Chauvin, I guess. On a scale of normal person to Derek Chauvin, I guess he was a 5.
He felt it goofy. Feel it best.
Well, bar is pretty low in Florida.
Goofy could be a 5.
Yeah, Walt Disney has standards.
I'm pretty sure there was a cartoon where Goofy was a cop.
Yeah, I think so. Rule 34. It's on the internet, and there's a porno.
Oh god.
Mm-hmm.
More.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Secret recordings. George and Sandy. Oh man, no. Get out of there. No way.
Oh man. So there's a theory.
No, that defense attorney should have cast so much shade on the possibilities that could possibly happen. It's just like, no. And then, hey, remember, all that emotion they gave you, bullshit.
Yeah. There's a theory, and apparently Casey's talking about it now. But there's a theory that...
Oh, by the way, she was found not guilty.
Yeah, well, we haven't got to that. Or we're almost there. Almost there. The defense put forth this theory that, this story, that Kaylee had gotten into the swimming pool in the backyard again and drowned. Again.
Oh, all the shade. Yeah.
And that George and Casey panicked, and that George helped cover up the crime, got rid of the body. The problem with this is there's no doubt that body was in the trunk of that car for an extended period of time.
And that accidental drowning is not a crime.
No, it is not. And George, having been a cop,
Would know that.
yep, and would know that you don't want to take an accidental death and make it look
goofy.
So you take an accidental death and you make it look like a murder. It's weird. It's weird.
Not something I would think a cop would do.
It's not, yeah.
Felt goofy.
Now,
Goofy wouldn't do that.
Casey makes perfect sense. She would absolutely make an accidental death look like a murder. Just because she's fucking dumb.
Only if she's really starving for attention.
Well, she wouldn't want the body to be found, and her steps in hiding the body made it look like a murder.
An accidental death, from what I've seen, she wants to continue her life, no interruptions. Anything outside of her story, is a distraction and needs to be cut off.
Oh God,
They
Haley's
redirect
dead.
it.
I'm supposed to meet Tony tonight. I gotta suck his cock, and he's gonna be a DJ.
Accidental death, drowning in a pool, then problem solved.
Right? I get you would think, but I don't know, man.
Why go through all the effort of the big story? You get some notoriety, your fucking kid died. Accidental drowning in a pool, that makes local news.
Oh yeah, she's gonna get so much sympathy,
Get some
Dick.
Sympathy shit, man. I mean, yeah. So problem solved. Kids out of your life. You no more having to worry about hiring Zanny.
Well, Xanny's kind of convenient. You can just carry her around with you in a pill bottle.
Yeah, but that's just one more expense. That's just one more piece of baggage where I can travel and jet set with my new DJ boyfriend and have this life that I've always
He
dreamed
is
of.
going to be the next Skrillex.
Yeah, so
So I can just leave this
Problem
old life
solved.
behind, and I'm going to follow my boyfriend, and he's going to be successful. And yeah,
I was like, even a dipshit like this would see that as problem solved and done. There's no need to fake it and make it look like a murder.
yeah.
The only way would you want anything to look like a murder is if it was a murder, and even those don't want it to look like a murder.
No,
Nobody wants it to look like a murder. That's never fucking come up in the mind. We got to make this look like a murder. What?
Yeah.
That's. You have to be some kind of special stupid to even come up with that idea. And I'm sorry, this chick doesn't seem like that kind of stupid.
honestly, I don't know what to think, man. Like, we know that Kaylee's dead. We know it was Casey's fault, regardless of how it happened.
I mean, she is shallow as fuck, but she's not stupid.
I bet she can take it deep, though. Real deep.
She's a little close to that Valley Girl mentality, but she's not true. You
No, she's not entirely vapid.
know, she's not the bad stereotype Valley Girl.
Her ability to hold together all these lies as long as she does speak to some creative ability and a manner of holding it all together. She created a world bigger than J.R.R. Tolkien, dude.
Yes, and she was going to continue living her part of it
Yeah.
at all costs.
And, well, you know,
When kid gets in the way, then whether it's accidental or not, problem solved, and I can move on with my life. That was the deal, and that's where I get.
and the
it.
jury decided, yeah, fuck it. Let her do it. And, you know, they find her not guilty. They do find her guilty of lying to the police. She certainly committed that crime as described.
Absolutely.
They proved beyond any shadow of reasonable doubt that Casey Anthony lied to the police, which is apparently a felony. Like, I lie to him anytime I talk to him if I have to talk to him. Like, I tell him as little as possible.
Probably the degree of interfering with an investigation.
But yeah, she basically goes home the next day.
I'm pretty sure that just your free speech has protection to the point where you can actually say what the fuck you want to, and until there's actually a crime under investigation, and then apparently there's some kind of an oath or something that we're all supposed to take. Maybe that happened with the Pledge of Allegiance, and I believe it, but I don't know. But I don't know. I have to look into that law about where that free speech ends at.
It's somewhere.
But yeah.
Yeah, so she gets out of jail and she starts dating, like, I think it's for a while she's dating her attorney, right? Oh, Jose?
I don't know about that part, though.
And then, like, there's things that during the trial, like, she was seen, like, running naked out of his office one night, and there's, like, a comment he made on camera, like, oh, well, Casey, I didn't know about that. I guess you owe me 3 blowjobs for that one.
And then during the trial, they were outside arguing after he wanted to a break to go talk about a plea deal earlier in the trial.
Yeah.
And so they stepped out to have their little moment of privacy to communicate. And, well, the judge said he heard the conversation quite clearly.
Oh, yeah?
At least her perspective of it.
Do tell.
Yeah, she was under no reason going to be taking any fucking plea deal. Apparently she was using some very colorful language at a very loud volume.
Like, oh my fucking God, Jose, I am not taking a plea deal. I will totally suck your cock if you do not mention plea deal again.
But the person that she was in the courtroom and the person she was outside the courtroom, not the same fucking person.
No.
And she puts on a mask for whatever situation she needs to put on for. She's two different people in the interrogations throughout the whole damn thing. You can tell she can change. She's a chameleon. She does exactly what she needs to do for whatever situation.
Yeah.
She knows when to break down and cry. She knows when to attack.
And that's what makes her such a great investigator, Mike.
Absolutely. She's not a bullshitter. She's a professional bullshitter.
You cannot bullshit a bullshitter. Oh, and now she's trying to get an LLC for a private investigation firm.
Well, that was last year.
Yeah.
Started, I think. She started that.
Now, she can't actually be a private investigator because even though she has no qualifications, she's also a felon. So,
Doesn't stop her from hiring people.
Does not.
What kind of people is she going to attract?
Chad. Bunch of Chads. I will totally go out there and solve this mystery for you, babe.
Yep.
Fucking Florida man. With sweet sun, with like sweet sun tattoos.
Drive around in a windowless van with cookies.
Yeah. Frosted tips.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about windowless vans and cookies around Casey, because ain't nobody gonna be taking them cookies.
Yeah, she ain't changed none. It's still all about her. She didn't know how to call 911 back then. She does now. She's finally learned how to call 911.
Oh?
Something happens.
Oh, what happened?
She got into an altercation at a bar with one of her ex-girlfriends. Got a drink thrown in her face, some kind of dispute, probably about their cooperative boyfriend. Co-opt boyfriend, whichever way you want to go with that particular part. They're both dating the same cop. She calls 911 about that. Can't figure out how to get out 911 when she killed her child, when her child died.
Well, Mike, that's because she was out there beating down the bushes that were growing up around strange men's cocks to find her daughter. She didn't find them. She didn't find her in time. Yeah. She was trying to solve
somebody
the
throwing a drink in her face to get her to figure out how to die 911.
Oh my God, I cannot believe you threw my drink in my face.
I am still wet. That's quote.
She actually... Oh boy.
Yeah, we're gonna have to look that up after the show and let you see that one.
Jesus Christ.
Probably actually pull it up and share screen, but it's on YouTube.
No, my God.
Not yet.
Let's not invite Satan back in.
Got you, but we're gonna have to run you through that a little bit more.
I know exactly how to do it, but it takes a lot of steps and something will fuck up. Guaranteed.
Next time we'll have it primed. I'll remember to mention that before show. We'll have it primed.
And that's basically it for old Casey and Kaylee. And she still talks to Cindy. George wants nothing to do with her. I don't blame him.
Well, it's in the news on part of what she's going to be bringing up during that documentary.
Oh yeah.
It was her dad
Yeah.
The dad went and took her away, and then come back in and pretended that she was drowned, and it was her fault because she went to sleep and wasn't watching the kid, and the kid snuck off into the pool. But that was impossible because she would have never went and left the room without telling her, a 2-year-old, never leaving the room without telling the parent. Okay. And she couldn't have got into the pool because there was no ladder. But there's pictures of the ladder on the pool with the kid climbing up it and all that good stuff there. So there was a ladder. When we're talking about a 2-year-old, they can climb.
Mm-hmm. The pool, it's not impossible that she died drowned in the pool.
No, it's not.
It's not impossible at all.
The story is that her dad is the one that was responsible. That she was asleep. And then there's another bit of it that where her dad took her from her, so and probably told her it's okay, she's okay, and she thought for a while that she was still alive.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to watch that when it comes out, and we might do an update.
It starts to get a little weird, so there's definitely a part 2 coming to this.
And I'm going to be